in radio land. Have you ever tried thank you as a response to help?
Well, I think we're going to go ahead and get into it a little bit here before we do the show. I think one of the major things that always gets kind of talked about is
conversation off air is now bleeding to on air.
Yes, is that the man needs to understand the woman's feelings and how she thinks, and you need to think more like her. How about for a second you think the way we think for just a fucking second? Every once in a while, we're just trying to fix a problem.
Boobs, vagina, tit.
No,
we're much more complex than that.
Beer, whiskey.
No, it's much
big
more.
Boobs, big vagina.
It's the
big vagina. We don't think that. Promise.
No, we think
I'll
things.
let Nicole show on camera that you're here.
We think things like, I just want it over and done with, so you'll leave me the fuck alone.
That's a big thing. That's a huge part of my life.
So, sometimes we fix small, dumb, mundane things because we don't want to be bothered with it anymore. And we go, look, solution's done. I don't care if it's right or wrong. It's a fucking solution, and we're moving on.
It's not helping if you don't help correctly.
Yeah, exactly.
Then it's just causing more issues.
Right. Some types of help are the kinds of help that helping's all about. And some kinds of help are the kinds of help we all could do without.
Well, it's cool because then you all can sit there and chew on it and stew on it, but let it be known, problem fucking solved.
Yeah. Also,
problem fucking solved.
That's true.
Problem solved. I've moved on.
Yeah, I'm now done with
I don't
this.
even know what we're talking about anymore.
100%.
Yeah, I don't even know who I'm going to do yet for the intro.
You know we're talking. You know
I need to look. At
we're talking about tits and ass.
Tits and ass.
That's what Sam and I are talking about.
hot dogs, whiskey.
Yeah.
Apparently, big vaginas.
I don't know.
The things that you are willing to do for boobs.
She said big vaginas. You know, immediately that pops into my head is fucking Dusk Till Dawn. We got fat pussy, heavy pussy, wet pussy, young pussy, old pussy.
Jesus.
All I can think
What
of.
is the-
Cheech Marion at the beginning as they're standing in front of the strip club. It is if you've never seen the movie, at least look up that bit. It is just phenomenal. Oh my god. Okay, again, Phil, I gotta figure this shit out.
Oh, well, you can't. I thought you were saying something.
I was going to pull it up, but I've got the other thing pulled up and I can't.
Well, oh, that. Yeah. All right. The other thing's better anyway because it's actually relevant
I think this
to what we're doing.
Since it's gin season and with memories of my England trip in the recent rear view, I picked up a bottle of a Pimm's No. 1. Obviously, it's great with lemonade or a crushable warm weather cocktail. But what alternative cocktails would you make with Pimm's as the base?
Just a standard cup, which is on the side of the bottle. It's Pimm's.
Read the
fucking
bottle. That's what Sam just said.
Soda water, slice of cucumber, little bit of lemon juice. I mean, a Pimm's No. 1. That's what's fucking best.
So we're missing the obvious joke here. Is it's Pimm's 2 girls 1 cup. Isn't it? That's what's on my mind right now.
You are.
What was that woman that was into nasty stuff?
I was just going to say, and yeah.
Cool,
And
y'all
this
just
is
made
why
my
you should
decision for me.
Patreon.
Y'all just made my decision for me. That's brilliant. Thank you so much, everybody.
That would be Brody.
How you doing out there in the internet world, everyone? Hope you're doing well.
They can't respond, you know that, right?
And
I mean, they can
I'm
through me.
speaking back, just talking to them.
But
I'm
we're in the
acknowledging.
future right now.
I'm
and
talking
the
to our
comments are in
fan
the
base.
past.
I'm talking to our fan base.
Oh, so now
unlike
you have fans.
That's kind of pretentious, isn't it?
I just call them friends.
It's like saying audience. Whoa.
Thank you for being a friend.
It's very official. Lean on me.
Melissa, your thing going on. You don't need to make it everybody else's thing. It can just be your thing. You just sit over there and let it be your thing.
Somebody to
No, it can just be your thing.
lean on.
Lean on me.
Just call on me, brother, when you need a friend.
We all need somebody to lean. Go, beat. Gotta do that.
I love it with the beat in the background too.
Gotta do
That's
the go-go
dope.
beat.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's something you can never take out of the PG in us. We just immediately we're like,
Man.
I thought Nicole was about to start double dutching again.
right?
Fucking getting it.
Every single time I drive in the city when I'm on Florida Avenue and go past Chuck Brown Way, windows down, music muted, listening to the Go-Go playing on the corner every single time.
I think it was a Sunday or something. We were down there and did it, and like it was closed. And
it was too early. It was like 10 o'clock in the morning.
There was still a church.
Yeah.
Well, you know what I want to know?
Yeah.
So obviously it's just about the noise or whatever and the culture on the street, I guess you'd say. But what do we call the yuppies that are acting like the Westboro Baptist Church that moved into that neighborhood? What's the yuppie version of the Westboro Baptist Church?
Well, that didn't last long because they tried to argue.
Oh, they got shut down quick.
And all the city,
100%. But beautifully shut down
the
quick.
City was just like,
go fuck yourself.
No, they turn it off when it gets dark, but no, they play go-go on that corner. That's where Chuck's from.
Correct.
Fuck you.
Yeah.
Fuck you entirely.
Yeah. No, 100%.
That shit ain't getting changed.
No, which is awesome. But I want to know what we should call the yuppies that tried to protest it, because I think that'd be fun to come up with names for them.
I mean, the most notable would be obviously Kens and Karens. Clearly.
Oh, that's not bad. Yeah,
that's
Starbucks stands.
All right. So Mel, we ready to do a show?
Good God, was that supposed to be singing? And thank you, DDG.
Yeah, that's what we're here for. That's what we are. We are entertainers, for fuck's sakes. Are you not entertained? I mean, come on. We just talked to...
What do you mean, Sarah McLachlan?
We talked about what
Celine Dion.
Think what women go through our minds and said some offensive shit. It's been great so far. We're on a fucking roll.
Freddie Mercury. I'm up there with the best of them.
Mm-hmm, exactly. Well done, Big Sam.
Got nothing on me.
Got nothing on me. Go-go, I invented go-go.
Right.
It's the music of my people as he drinks from a pint full of red wine.
Red wine, yeah. Fucking hell.
The mind games worked a little, though. A little. I mean, still a loss, but they worked a little.
They did.
All right, ready to do a show?
Oh, I'm not at all ready.
Okay, that's fantastic.
But let's do it anyways.
Lovely.
It can't be any worse than the other shows.
Way to fill us full of confidence again.
By the way, I think this opening is fitting.
All right, you ready?
Hi, this is Russ Benson. I am a Liverpool supporter, and you're listening to Drunkard United Football Show. You all need Jesus.
That's coming from the atheist. The atheist said this is the one we need. Apparently, we need Jesus today.
Yeah, the sound check was interesting.
Sound check was very interesting.
That's what happens. That's what happens when Mel can't pay attention and keep us on, like, kind of in order.
No.
Oh, we were kind of unsupervised. Like,
or even just before the show. Which, by the way, let's start the show.
Born in the land of Bowie, Maryland. Bred to be a fan of fucking Everton. Punch you in the eye and drink your rye. Sam Houston.
Sam Houston?
Arsenal fans have another Sam. AKA the fucking Gooner Graham. Stump of a lord. Look straight in shorts. Sam Grammy.
Sam Graham.
Drunkard United! Drunkard United!
Hello and welcome to the DU Football Show, a completely biased recap of the English Premier League as told by two common American schmucks. I am your host, Sam Houston, and across the way from me is someone that's not mouthing everything I'm doing like my lovely wife and producer, the man with Jesus-like hair, Samuel Graham. Sammy, how you doing, buddy?
Wouldn't most people be happy that their wife is mouthing everything they're doing? What the fuck are you complaining about?
No. Under the law of Crowder, I'd be happier if she was outside mowing the fucking lawn right now, doing her wifely
Well, don't
duties.
forget, for the last month she has been. Somebody gonna die.
It's very true. How are we doing today, good sir?
Not bad. How are you?
Oh, yeah, I'm alive, apparently. I'm not dead yet. So there we go. We got that going for me, right?
It's going well then.
Good. We're recording at the DU Public House just outside the nation's capital. You can check us out on all podcast platforms. Please be sure to rate, subscribe, review, and share with a footballing friend. Should you want to chat with us, there is many ways that you can. Sammy, tell the good people how they can get in touch.
Absolutely. It's at DU Football Show on all the social medias and dufootballshow@gmail.com to get in touch via email.
Or, as I like to always say, you can just get in your car and drive your happy ass over here. Today is the grand finale of someone's journey, exploration, as it were, with sexuality. We welcome our good friend Nicole. Cole, how you doing, darling?
Hi. Doing good. Doing good.
You've been thinking about it all weekend and going over your notes and doing all your stuff.
I have, yeah.
Okay.
I'm ready. I'm ready.
You ready to become an honest woman and be a one club girl?
Yes.
There we go. Only slightly unconvincing.
I don't know about the honest woman part, though. That's
Fucking
Part of me thought maybe Nicole was going to rip her shirt off and be wearing the shirt underneath. So now I'm thinking maybe she's been wearing the bra underneath. She's written it on her chest. Like I'm trying to figure it out.
Apparently that's all we think about, so I wouldn't mind if she ripped her shirt off.
Well, now she's got me thinking like
Now I can't do the show, damn it.
Kevin Garnett in the
I'm distracted.
ESPN commercial playing foosball with Brandy Chastain when she scored, and he just stops and looks at her, and she's like, "What?" He's like, as I'm motioning my hand upward as if to say, "Okay, you
finished the job.
Take off your shirt now, please."
You gotta do it. Do the thing.
That's funny.
Fucking Garnett used to do good ones. The other great one he did, he was like, "No more swimsuit issues, no full pieces, no two pieces, no bikinis, no thongs, full nude, tastefully done." My goodness.
Thank you, Tim Howard. Thank you.
Different times.
Sam and myself both work in the wine and spirit industry and both have a deep, passionate love for all things distilled spirits. So is the red-blooded Americans we are. We vow to have a drink in our hand throughout this show and every single show. The Whiskey Advocate list is completed.
It is done.
It is a nice, lovely spring day. And that means only one thing. The gin binge has fucking begun, my good friend. It is a whole lot of gin and tonic till we are done recording this show for the season. So
Yes.
Tell us about what we got today.
So what we have is our homage to the Victorian era of England when the entire country grind to a halt for about 2 months' time. And theirs was about 2 years' time. Ours is about a month.
Yes.
Yeah, a month, not 2 months.
Yeah.
But so we're going to grind to a halt and do gin for the rest of the time we're on air with you all. Hendrix came out with another new addition to their lineup. This is the Flora Adora. This is very similar, in my opinion, to the one they released a couple of years ago, the Midsummer Solstice, but much more intense on the florality in this one. Some people have said potpourri. Mel said she was getting a little bit of citrus mixed with that floral. Almost gave her like a citronella candle, but not in a bad way.
Right.
I tend to kind of agree with all those things. Whatever bitters you used in here when you made this, I got more citronella than I did what I smelled previously.
Okay.
But it doesn't taste that way to me.
A little chamomile bitters is what I put in. Bitter Truth chamomile bitters.
I tasted it from the bottle, and that citronella was strong, and I think the chamomile smoothed it out, but it is yummy.
It's so good.
Delicious.
Yeah, 86,
Sure.
86.8 proof on this one.
The drinking it neat, I got a lot of that strong tart lemon candy. You know, so you got that little real bright citrus with a little bit of sugar on the back end. So like, was it Warheads that were the ones that were the lemon with
Yep.
the sour lemon, sweet
Blue
and sour
raspberry was
lemon.
the best one, though. Love the blue raspberry.
Definitely got that in there. And then what kind of tonic water are we using today, Mr. Graham?
You made them.
It's right there in front of you.
Didn't even see it there. Dry set. I was
It's a son of a bitch when people put shit right in front of your face,
too
isn't it?
focused on the books. Dry citrus tonic from
I
Regatta.
think you've ever read a book. Please continue.
It's a bold claim. Wow. 7.5 ounces on this one, just little one serve cans. This is the Regatta Dry Citrus Tonic. It's decent.
Yeah.
Plays very well into bringing out that more of that citrus from this gin.
Few dumb things. I know, make a gin tonic, however, but if you really want to elevate it, things you want to do. First off is use a quality tonic water, not a shitty tonic water. Now, if you're going to go deep and it's you and 5 of your friends and you're going to kill a couple of bottles of gin, buy some cheap fucking tonic. It's fine. Whatever. You're sitting on the porch. Who gives a shit?
Regardless, just make sure the tonic's fucking cold.
That's the second thing is make sure your tonic is in the refrigerator or in your cooler getting cold. It has to be cold. Cold mixer mixes with the liquor and it actually mixes throughout the glass, where if it's a hot mixer, it just kind of hits it and the alcohol only comes up a little. It just kind of sits there flat. So you drink, when you're drinking it, it's like all mixer, and then suddenly it's like, whoa, shit, gin.
Yeah.
Also,
if you're a hot mixer, you're probably a bad alpha.
2 weeks in a row, you're milking that joke.
Yeah, that's how I roll.
Well,
You've been with us for 5 years, Mel, in this room.
He's got to amp up that tea somehow, so that's how he does it. He does it that way, by pumping up his ego.
Well, the other problem, we talked about it.
Alex Jones horsecock thing. You sure it's not that?
Well, you know, they are throwing chemicals in the water. They're making freaking frogs gay. Sattery, YouTube.
Yeah.
Don't get us kicked off YouTube again.
Yeah, that wouldn't be good.
Also, always give it the appropriate garnish, which would be a lime. Make sure you squeeze the lime over the ice before you mix it in. That's called expressing the lime. It just helps, again, it helps mix it all in, as opposed to just squeezing the lime on top and it just kind of slowly floats into the glass. It's dumb things, but it really makes a difference in your drink. And
I've got some limes, fucker. Can you express me?
No one can express you, Sam. No one can express you.
That's brilliant.
What else do we need?
Fits right into the fucking line.
What else do we need to express, Mr. Graham?
Always remember to drink responsibly,
Very
ladies
good.
and gentlemen.
Let's have a good show, kids.
There we go.
Good. We start with the midweek, as we saw the top spot switch hands and then switch right back the very next day, as a lot of games in hand finally started to get caught up and the schedule is starting to look a little more even on fixtures.
Yes.
Arsenal 3, Chelsea 1, Liverpool 1, Fulham 0, Man City 3, West Ham 0, Brighton 1, Manchester United 0. Arsenal, Chelsea, great fucking comeback win for Arsenal. They desperately needed it. Odegaard with the brace, which was huge as well.
Yeah, big time. We said it against for Brighton against Forest. That actually didn't end up happening. But it turns out, like, if you're that next step up caliber club, what you need to get back on track is a fixture against Chelsea this season. And that actually, pun intended, that is just the tonic to get your season back going. So 3 goals in 15 first half minutes. So Odegaard scored twice. Xhaka assisting both of those as well. And then Jesus scored and really put Chelsea off it by the 31st or 32nd minute, whatever it was, that third goal went in. And Madueke. Noni Madueke for Chelsea, who's been a bright spot in this kind of sea of shit over the last couple of weeks, who's been starting to get played a bit, has looked very good on the ball by himself. Just needs his team to kind of help out a bit.
Yeah, you can't do it all by yourself. I think with the amount of money they spend, they could find 10 other guys to help him out. Yeah,
exactly. And people forget, because he's so young, that he's not a product of their academy. They actually spent $30 million on him.
Yeah, they actually spent a ton of money on him, because that's how Bowley gonna Bowley, man. Spend that cash.
I mean, it wasn't indicative of the season. It wasn't necessarily the greatest of games, because this is what you have come to expect from both sides this season.
Yeah.
It was a good professional Arsenal performance. They tied it up, put them away, and Chelsea got one. But they still lost.
Right, precisely. Now, that did find Arsenal on top for a day. They moved back up to the top of the table. Then moving on to the next day, you know what? Not fancy, but the Reds have now won 5 in a row.
Yep.
And then we'll be talking about what they did later in the week as well.
Absolutely.
You know, it's funny how you can look at how the midweek games went and then how the weekend went, because you look at, say, like, for Liverpool consistency, you look at Fulham and it's like, they played tough, but they couldn't get a point. And then they're an onslaught later on this week, which we'll get to. But they're hanging on to 10th place, but it feels like they're probably going to stay there. Like, Chelsea's getting a little close, but I think they'll be able to hold them off.
I would love Fulham.
That would be a big win.
I would love Fulham to finish above Chelsea. I think it'd be awesome for them.
Yeah.
Especially the way they've been yo-yoing over the last few years. I think it'd be really cool to finish over their local rivals.
Yeah, that would be very big. The only part that'll suck is then their other rivals will finish in front of them. So, City Cruise.
QPR aren't in the
league. City Cruise, and by the end of the day on Wednesday, less than 24 hours later, find themselves back on top of the league.
Yeah, it's a very routine day at the office for City. I mean, they never really got out of second, third gear, at all. It was pretty much done and dusted. They had over 2/3 of the ball, and they had more goals than West Ham had shots on target. So very one-sided.
Yeah.
And it just wasn't really a great day.
No, not really. But and don't look now, Irons right back in the relegation scrap.
Potentially.
They not out of it as far as the midweek goes. That's where they were. Still in trouble.
More to come.
So moving on to Brighton, Manchester United. Brighton, dangerously thin, have to take starting center midfielder Concedo, who's started every match for them and been the pinpoint man, had to move him out the outside back because they are that fucking thin on people.
Yep.
And this game was back and fucking forth. 0-0. I've never seen more shots not land on target that were missed by inches. I mean, there were 5 from each of them where it was just like just wide, just over the post. So like the 1-0 scoreline is not indicative of the fact of what was going on in the match. It was pretty fucking back and forth.
Yeah, but what it boils down to, what I love, is that how tense the atmosphere was, and this is a direct result of their League Cup final.
Yeah.
I think it was fitting that you couldn't really choose between the two sides, but then to also finish in the manner it did with Luke Shaw, who's been a little bit of a dickhead this season, getting the handball obviously in the box, VAR ruling it for Brighton to have a penalty, and then their World Cup winning star player steps up to take the penalty, which they obviously lost on penalties in the League Cup final, to seal the deal.
Well, semifinal
rather.
Semifinal.
To seal the deal here was fantastic. And it was FA Cup, not Carling Cup, wasn't it?
Yeah, FA Cup.
Yeah, and the Carling Cup doesn't exist anymore. It's a League Cup.
It's the League Cup, and that was
fucked up a lot of that, didn't I?
That was both. That was United beating Newcastle. But what's also interesting, bit of deja vu for Manchester United, who won a match at Brighton the year prior on a handball in like the 95th minute.
Yeah.
That literally won it at the death.
I think it was like 2 seasons ago.
Like everybody was off the pitch. They literally just brought.
They called it back after full time.
Yeah. They brought out Bruno Fernandes and the keeper, and it kept everybody else on the side.
That was brilliant.
Come out and take it. It was like either he's scoring or he's missing, and the game is over.
I obviously loved every second of it. It was fantastic. It was a perfectly dispatched penalty. And it started a really shitty week for David De Gea.
Yeah, and how about VAR calling a fucking penalty like that's
against United?
Not very Fergie of them now, is it?
Well, no. I mean, it's what happens when you're turning into a small club right before our eyes.
And
backwards evolution, like we've been talking about, the big theme today.
Yes, exactly. our off mic conversation. And what's also very interesting is like, don't look now here at the midweek. Suddenly Liverpool's really in the fucking discussion for Champions League again. It was like we all had them done and dusted, and it hasn't been pretty. It really hasn't been pretty for Liverpool, but just
it doesn't need to be, does it?
Plugging along and nobody noticing, a few hamstrings torn, but outside of that, we're doing just plugging along and doing what they need to do.
Yeah.
Ice cubes?
Having a bad tech day.
Not a lot to talk about in these next two matches, but to us, namely one of us, it's decision time. Wolverhampton 1, Aston Villa 0, Liverpool 1, Brentford 0. Wolves pretty much secure safety. They needed a little something to happen on Monday, which did happen for them, so they are now safe. And Villa find themselves in 8th place and on the outside looking in at Europe after having such a great run to the top.
What a fantastic header by Totti as well, the defender. I mean, he was being manhandled by Jacob Ramsey, and then he decided to step up and manhandle back. Was able to rise higher, and it was an absolute bullet header. But Villa didn't let it stop them. Buendia, Tyrone Mings, they kept coming. But Jose Sa stood on his head a bit, and things like in a fair few games this weekend. I think they hit the outside of the post, inches wide. Things just weren't really coming off for Villa in this one, and Wolves did enough.
Yeah, that's what I said. Kind of a meh weekend.
Yeah,
to be honest. I mean, it was just. And I definitely think of the one that Mings just had a free kick floated right into him, right inside the box, and he just skied it right over.
Yeah.
Like that it just seemed like just not close enough. And for Wolves, considering that it was in their building, and it is still a derby between those two clubs, it's just kind of like, okay, you know what? We're gonna get this done. Like, we're gonna make it work. It'll be okay. So, and it looks like Wolves are definitely safe now. So good for them. They get to stay in the Prem for another season, especially considering, big credit to Lopetegui. They were in 20th place. They were dead man walking when he came in and took over, and he completely changed for them.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now into both Liverpool and Brentford. Liverpool win a 6th in a row, like I was hinting at. Now find themselves literally just a few points behind 4th place and right in the thick of it. But now even on games. So now they need people to make mistakes. It'll just be
what's happening the rest of the season, yeah.
Really got to say, and this isn't just my blue-colored glasses, I really think Virgil van Dijk deserved a 2nd yellow. There was one where he came in behind on Ivan Toney. Ode to Macho Man Randy Savage off the top rope with the elbow right through the back of his head, and then just looked around and went, and everything was okay.
That's going to be coming up soon too with Fabian Schär.
Oh yeah, definitely,
motherfucker.
Yeah. Don't worry, he gave me -2 points anyways with that.
Perfect.
With that little mistake.
I'm glad.
We'll call it a happy mistake that he made.
Yeah.
It certainly made you happy. That's for damn sure. Top 10 certainly looking like that's going to happen for the Bees. Probably going to be 8th or 9th, maybe even 10th, but they're definitely with a top 10 finish.
They went through that little spell where last season they were kind of losing games, drawing here and there. This season was mostly turned it into draws. That rough patch. So they were able to hold their league position as opposed to last year where they fell into 14th or 15th and needed those few wins at the end of the season to elevate them back up to 11th or 12th or whatever it was that they finished. But definitely an improvement. You would hope that they can recruit in the summer, especially because we don't know what's going to happen yet with Ivan Toney, the ban. He may miss the first half of the season, the entirety of the season. We don't know. So we'll see what happens there, but hopefully they can recruit well in the summer and keep this momentum going because they've been a lovely addition to the Premier League, in my opinion.
Thomas Franks. Spurs are now looking for a manager. Chelsea's now looking for a manager.
He would be absolutely deluded to go to Spurs.
Oh, yeah.
At this point.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely deluded.
Stay where you are. Just keep working the program you're working. It's doing fine.
This one's for Brody. Just like your eyes after an optician's appointment. I knew it was the wrong word. I was trying to just make it funny, and it was a stretch anyway. I get it. So I left it there.
All right, so we got through the games. Who fuck gives a shit. We're done. All right, here we come. Cole,
hold on.
It's now.
Yes.
It's now or
time.
never.
So before we ask,
have 2 bags. One bag has a B on it, and the other one has a V on it.
Yeah. So, okay, if we're going back to our previous conversation,
boobs and bags.
You already know what we're thinking.
I'll have both, please.
Oh my God.
And it's a really big B and V.
Oh, even better. Woo!
Then I'll take the B and probably leave the V then.
Before we get to your decision, how have you found the process and how have you enjoyed this season and going through all of this?
I've really enjoyed watching the matches and learning a lot about the game in general. Also have a brand new appreciation for the words "fuck VAR."
So you're choosing Brighton?
She can't pick two teams.
No, I'm saying they've been on the end of some very bad VAR
I'm saying
decisions
Brighton
this year.
and Halvovian.
Yeah, fair enough. We don't talk about Hove enough.
No, we don't.
But you know, I appreciate this group in particular and all of you in internet world answering my questions, even though sometimes they were dumb. Making sure that, you know, we talked footy not just as a part of match day, but also in general, like the activity in the Facebook group, phenomenal, because without it, I probably would not have understood like a lot of what was happening, especially when it came to Derby Day. Like, it's really cool to feel that energy come through the group, because you're sitting there watching it like, why are they so angry? And then you read the chat and you're like, oh, that's why.
Never be embarrassed to go to Houston. Be like, hey, can you explain why this is funny to me?
Yeah.
Explain it to me. And then he does. I'm like, that is funny. It's just sometimes, that still has happened.
Apparently, the only time mansplaining works, everybody, you gotta learn how to do it properly.
It's when we ask you to.
When we approach you.
There we go. Very good.
Yeah.
So what you're saying is the way that it needs to be done is you need to tell me and then I tell you. Okay, I get it. I'm trying to do a dumb mansplaining bit right now. We've held on long enough. Cole, who's going to be your club?
I'm ready. I'm going to be a villain.
Boom!
Whoops.
By the way, to show y'all
The hometown fix
what
there,
was
I
in
think.
the bee bag, a gray scarf.
Terrible.
What is
Absolutely
in
terrible. The official
V
color of
bag?
I bet.
Now, Lindsay Williams,
Cool.
first time I met her, she came in the studio and presented me with my own Villa scarf. That one right there on the wall. And so I only found it fair that now that you are a Villanista, I present you with your own Aston Villa scarf.
I will wear it proudly.
Good. I present you with a shot of Malort because your fucking team lost. Yeah, Mel, yours is there sitting for you there too.
Crossed my mind when I was watching it. It was like, I'm
Good
doing,
thing they both lost, so whichever one you picked, you were getting a shot
I'm
of
doing
Malort.
Malort no matter what.
Mel, you got your Malort there? I just handed it over
Yeah,
to
I
you.
just spilled a sample of beer, so I got that covered. There's a lot of comments. Keith Kern saw that coming. Now Villa has 8 fans. Some are calling this a slap in the face to Jane.
Oh, Jane's awesome.
Not at all.
What I would say to Keith in response and in y'all's defense is y'all went from 8 to 400,000 fans when the Saudis bought your club. Oh, shit. We've got money now?
Oh, shit. We like these guys.
Yeah.
Very good.
Oh my gosh.
Shit, I have a shot of Malort. To
Yeah,
do.
and
Yeah, you do.
Yeah, it still tastes like the wrong end of horse's ass.
There we go.
But yeah, like I do have to say, Brentford did lose, but guess who they're still ahead of?
Who?
Fulham. Which is always going to be a part, like, that's going to be a little piece of my heart no matter what.
Very good.
Me too. I'm excited when Villa plays this summer. We're on the same side as Fulham, so we'll be in the same kind of sections as the Fits for each other's games.
Yep.
Which I'm good with that.
That's pretty good.
Yeah,
By the way, update on that.
Yeah.
Having closed on this house Friday and not having offloaded mine yet, ain't a whole lot of extra money.
Heard.
That's fine. We figured you would sit in the parking lot and run the tailgate.
That's exactly what I was saying. Is I'd probably show up for that bit
And be there for the tailgate.
and be there for the tailgate and then fuck off.
Well, you realize that tailgate's going to be over the course of 2 games, right?
Yeah.
So you'll just be there for.
That's fine. I don't-
All the Fulham people will be hanging out in the parking lot before.
Yeah, I'll go see them. That's fine. I got nothing else to do.
The idea is, honestly, it's going to be we're going to get all the Villa crew, our little setup in the middle, and all the Fulham people together and be in one part of the parking lot.
Yeah, that's great. Because the only money I was allowed to spend was getting me and Tegan up to MetLife
Yeah, there you
for
go.
Arsenal Man U.
Okay, there you
Yeah.
go.
So
There you go.
all my money's gone.
There you
Fair
go.
enough.
Well, and also those tickets sold out, so they probably were not cheap.
I got them. They released about a half hour after they released for one. I think they were $125 a piece.
Okay, not bad.
I'm shite seats though, but
Oh yeah, you up
125
top.
a piece. Oh, yeah.
You up top, aren't you?
big time.
Big time, up high,
Big time.
very high.
Where are we at, Miss Houston?
We are front row, directly behind the goal cage.
Oh.
There was debate whether we wanted to be like, because Lindsay was like, you guys have first pick, first row, second row, third row. Where do you guys want to go? And there was debate. I'm like, why are we debating? We have a good view. That's called television. To be close enough to maybe see Emmy Martinez hump in our faces or to be able to touch Ollie Watkins. I mean, come on, front
I
row
wanna
bitches.
So
Smell
dick pics
Tyrone
okay if it
being
comes from
sweat.
Emmy Martinez? Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm gonna smell his hair, Graham.
Oh, see. Careful, he's Argentinian.
All right,
Carry
shots of Malort.
weapons.
Do your shot.
Yep.
Oh,
Done.
You know what?
Done.
Happy shots for the Villanistas. I mean, not happy, but, up the villa.
All right, so quick couple of questions here, Cole.
Yeah.
What is it that ultimately was the tiebreaker for you to go Villa instead of Brentford?
So I will admit, Brentford had it, Jane. They had it by a bee's dick. But they
still love
also
that.
lost by a bee's dick. It was really the community. I like hanging out with the Villanistas.
Got
I
it.
like our little crew.
Well, and I
Fair,
didn't put
very
any
fair.
pressure because I said we would hang out regardless, for
Yep.
games. I
And we
think
did
I
watch
did
Brentford
I think
games,
I
not
tried to do a
just,
very
Villa.
good job of not putting on too much pressure, not making it obvious, trying to play it fucking cool. As I put in a dummy scarf in one of the bags.
But also, I mean, we live chatted each other
Yeah.
for a few of the matches. Not even coordinated. We couldn't watch the match together, but we were still messaging
Love it. Very
all the
cool.
goals, the play-by-plays, all that kind of stuff. And so I did really enjoy going to the Abbey and watching the Arsenal game. And I thought,
Mel's
I couldn't get my
constant
shit
bribes.
together in time to be a contender.
I just
were
like that
never
she
a
got the
contender.
full Arsenal experience.
In one
this
day,
place is
yeah.
awesome. This place is great. Look at all these guys. They're all wonderful and they're so great. And then by the end, it's like, fuck yeah, our fucking club.
Actually, even that part of it, the group of women who were off in the corner, kind of
Lynn and all them?
Oh
Yeah.
my God! It reminded me. It took me back to my great grand aunt. She used to watch NFL, a lot of football, and she would do that. You ever want to hear an 85-year-old black woman have all the compound swears in the world? Let her favorite quarterback miss a throw. That's
Yeah.
how these ladies were acting, and
I
it
love
just
that shit.
it warmed my
Yeah.
heart a little bit. But at the
Lynn,
same time, I
she was the
like,
one that had our
I was-
scarves.
Oh, yeah,
and
yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
She does a lot of the merchandise handing out and ordering and all
Yep.
that kind of stuff.
Yes.
So it was Miss Lynn and then Pat. Pat and Norm, who travel a lot, but Pat was there as well, and they just go nuts. The two of them,
went
it's brilliant.
they went so hard. It was
It's
amazing.
brilliant.
Live Arsenal TV.
Yeah, live Arsenal TV, and I was just like, okay, so this is what we need to bring to.
And
the-
I
the
was
Villa.
prepared. If she had said
FC.
Brentford, I was going to give her the other bag and be like, I owe you a Brentford scarf, and I would have made good on it. That's why I had 2 bags, just in case.
Well, in Brentford, like we were just talking about, it's a very enjoyable club, and
is.
Now you
And Jane is far more charming than I am.
they've been very good at
True.
moving on to the next person, always finding the next guy up, finding value. That changes a little though when you're in the Prem, right? That
Yeah.
Especially consistently in the Premier League.
because those
Yeah.
players cost more now. It does.
Yep.
It's not
Yeah,
like you could just go
absolutely.
find
Yeah.
a $2 million signing or somebody free from a lower league that you can bring up and develop. It just that doesn't happen. And also, let's face it, what's going to happen when your talismanic goal scorer and your coach are now the front piece of interest for an entire summer? Like that's going to be tough. It's going to be very tough. And while they have a new stadium, it's still a relatively small stadium. So there's those financial barriers. You're never going to be the massive club in London that say Arsenal or Tottenham or even Chelsea or
Excuse
West
me.
Ham are.
To be a big club, you need to win things.
No. Yes.
We got a special guest caller. Lindsay, you're on with Newest Villanista.
Yay! Congratulations. Welcome.
Thank you.
You know my favorite
How
meme
does it
was of the
feel?
weekend?
It feels great. I'm super excited for this summer, I have to tell you.
I just do one production note. Next time when you have Lindsay on, please remember to refer to her by her Christian name, the Highness. Okay? Her Highness Lindsay
Yeah,
is on
the
the
Highness.
host.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, no problem.
The Highness is Mel
Thank
in
you.
it.
Thank you.
Fresh air, get it. The
That's Pat right now, which he might not make it to his bit. He said,
brilliant. No, the funniest meme I saw the weekend was Prince Harry kneeling in front of his father,
Yes.
whispering, "Dad, we lost 1-0," because they famously are Villa supporters as well.
Oh, no, I thought they were Arsenal supporters.
Most of the family's Arsenal.
Famously are Villa supporters as well.
Uh-oh.
Except the smart one.
sorry.
All good, all good. Oh, yeah, ladies, congratulations on your little crew that you're going to start doing. And
Three
I know
Musketeers is now
why-
fully in
Oh, yeah.
effect.
Well, I
Yep.
know talking with each of you a little bit off show, it sounds like you guys really want to try to work and build up what the community is for Villa. And Cole, there was something you said that was a great compliment about when you went to the Abbey that you had mentioned to me. What do you remember what that was that you had said?
I don't.
You were
Sorry. An impression Arsenal left on her.
well. You were impressed. You were what you had said to me was that you were impressed by what you saw there, and it inspired you to want to create that with your club.
Oh, absolutely. Like what Charm City has done as a supporter group is just phenomenal. Like it's amazing. And so yes, we will be doing that. We're gonna be doing that. I'm excited to have that kind of energy and like, you know, have a group of us sitting in the corner screaming obscenities at the TV.
Great.
We are the
I'm
oldest.
super relieved. Like I've been playing it
official-
so cool that I don't even know how to feel right now.
We are the oldest official supporters group in Baltimore. We've been around for like between 13 and 15 years.
Right.
So it's just taken time and consistency.
Yeah.
So you got to find a bar. Like the Abbey has been the best partner. They open up outside of their normal business hours to show
Right.
games. So we have somewhere to show up to.
Yeah.
We never change
Yeah.
the venue.
Even
And
if
that's
it's
the
7 days,
biggest.
always. It's just always the
That's
case.
the biggest thing is we never change the venue. So people always know, shit, it's match day. I know where to go.
Yeah.
So you got to find a bar that'll jump on that with you. And yes, some weeks it's going to fucking suck. Only 4 people are going to show up. That happens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like I remember it was the first game back from like COVID that the Abbey was actually open, and they had the barriers up between chairs and everything else. And I'm like, there's no way people are staying away. We've missed each other so much. I was there with 2 other people. That was the day of the Manchester United riots.
Right. Yeah.
Wow.
When they were playing it afterwards, right when the Super League came out.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And but yeah, so like 2 people were there, but they were open. They were there
Right.
for us.
Yeah,
They were there for me
exactly.
and the other guy that showed up at halftime.
Right.
The bartender felt so bad for me, but he bought me a shot. He was like, "Let's do a shot together," because I just feel bad you're sitting here by yourself. And I was like, "Cheers, man." But,
I
you know,
mean,
but
the
that's the
other-
thing is that consistency of
Yeah.
them being there and being open. That's what makes people show up.
Yeah.
And finding, like, you know,
100%.
Lindsay and I found each other, and Lindsay's finding more people online, and she's really taking advantage of the game this summer to find and bring
Definitely,
in more to the
yes.
fold. And so I've told her I'm here to support her, and now you've got Nicole.
And doing what we
Yes.
did with the DUFC Facebook page.
Yeah.
I mean, we went from nothing to 400 some odd people.
Yeah.
That's
Now-
amazing.
You just add the numbers, sure. You know what? 50 people probably regularly contribute.
Right. But it's constant.
But it's
That is
constant.
amazing.
And that's all you need. I mean, we show up to the Abbey with between 25 and 50 every game, right? The big games, there's 110 that show up kind of thing. So it's just finding that group,
Wow.
finding that niche and getting people, and you'll find them and it'll be there.
Yep.
Very good.
Well, I mean, and
Because
and
Villa
like I
are
said,
sticking around for many evenings to
yeah.
come.
They're going to be
And our
amazing.
fan base is growing.
Can I just tell you, I am super effing surprised that even the top 2 teams are in the top 10 of the Prem. Like, I do not choose
Right.
teams. Well, I've been a Washington sports team supporter for a very long time. It's led to a lot of heartbreak.
Yeah.
And I was just prepared. I'm like, you know what? Probably going to get my heart broken. It's going to be all right. It's going to be my club. I'm going to do it
No,
anyway.
Villa Fox.
Villa Fox. And not just, you know, like, can it be over now, Fox? Like, they get you there. They get you there.
They keep it interesting.
Good kind.
One of the things I love in the club is there's a lot of love between the players, and it shows. There's so much man kissing, and there's so much cheers for each other, and it bleeds off into their personal lives off the field. And yeah, I'm welcome to the team.
And can I just say one other thing, Lindsay, too? In your efforts to build up this DC supporters group, kind of DC Annapolis supporters group, I know I'm confident I can speak on behalf of Simon. And as he's done with many supporters clubs in Baltimore, any advice that he can offer, I know that he will always answer emails and that kind of stuff. Like we to the point where we've actually set up charity football matches against other supporters groups in Baltimore. Like that's
really great.
so very well. But yeah, anything that we can do to be of service to help set that up, because growing the sport in general, ultimately, when Villa get relegated in another 15 years, they're just going to become Arsenal supporters anyway. So,
Oh my goodness.
Here we go. The pro-Arsenal agenda yet again.
and I'll leave you with one nugget, and then I'll shut up. As I think I forgot to mention this when Eimer got rehired into the Premier League. Do none of us remember the butler from Mr. Deeds?
No, none of us do.
Very sneaky,
Nope.
sir.
Nope.
That is
Nope. You're
Unai
the only
Emery
one.
to a fucking T.
Okay.
Hashtag jealousy.
Hashtag Google it.
All right.
You won't be able to unsee it.
All right, Lindsay, please plug away where people can find local Villa chapters on Facebook and all that good stuff. And if they're still looking to find out more about the summer series that's coming to town and the plans that you're working on currently for all the Villa supporters.
Wonderful. Thank you. Well, we do have our Aston Villa Maryland group, which is growing. And also there's a Capital Villains group for those who are located in DC. Then we do have the Aston Villa North America group, which is just really amazing. And Nicole, you'll get to be part of that as well and meet just lots of amazing Villa fans this summer. And I'm so excited that you have front row seats literally to Emi Martinez. I mean, literally front row seats. You cannot get any closer to him unless you invaded the pitch, which I'm not encouraging. But yes. But
is that an option?
Well,
I know, right?
If you're leaving me outside to drink all day, there's a possibility
Well, wait a minute.
that I run in there naked.
If we invade the pitch, would that get us banned from all Premier League games in the U.S. or just FedEx Field? Because I'm fine getting banned from FedEx Field.
Yeah, you'd probably be okay there. Well, no, USA does it a little differently. They just arrest you, and I'll let you sit in the cell
I'm
and think about
fine
it for a
getting
night.
arrested.
I'll bail you out the next morning, but I'll definitely let you chew on it a little bit.
Can I also please get banned from FedEx Field?
Sure thing.
Okay, cool.
I was buying us matching T-shirts that said I survived the Dan Snyder era, and I was hoping we could debut them at the first game of next season.
You know what? I will be there for that.
All right. Well, Lindsay, thank you so much for calling in, and congratulations on your newest villain.
Thank you. Congratulations, Nicole and Melissa. We're so excited.
Thank you for everything and for all your support. And more
Of
to
course.
come. More to come.
Yes, yes, yes.
Lindsay, always good to talk to you. Congrats
Thank you,
on
guys.
the
Really
whole
appreciate it.
New Monarch thing.
Thank you. just means a Villa supporter is one step closer to being a king.
Oh, yeah.
And as always, bless your little cotton socks.
Thank you, kind sir. Thank you. And what a win today by Everton.
Oh, thank you.
Shout
very
out to the
much.
Toffees.
Thank you.
That was
Appreciate it.
fucking decent. That
Yeah.
I'm just afraid they blew their load in one day. In one
It
game.
wasn't bad. It was not bad. Thanks, Lindsay. We'll talk soon, darling.
Okay, bye guys.
Bye.
See ya.
All right, there you have it, Cole. You've
Congratulations.
got your club.
I do.
You have your community.
Oh, your
you have
glasses
your
are fogging
home.
up. Are you crying?
I know.
All excited. And the other beautiful thing is now you got McGinn and all that ass.
That is literally the best fuck up of the show's history. The cheer soundtrack, and all that ass.
I'm gonna fade that out. I'm definitely gonna fade that out into the ice break. I'm leaving it in.
Oh my God,
I
leave it in.
believe the kids
Leave
say
it in.
production been on fleek today. Rounding out the rest of the league, and so that happened. Arsenal 2, Newcastle 0, Chelsea 3, Bournemouth 1, Man City 2, Leeds 1, Tottenham 1, Palace 0, West Ham 1, Manchester United 0. The weekend was kind of and then Monday fucking happened.
No
Fulham
shit.
5, Leicester 3, Everton 5, Brighton 1, Forest 4, Southampton 3. Not to be undone, and we just the way we kind of did it this week is we wanted to get the midweek done, and we definitely wanted to spend a segment talking with Cole, and then we kind of put everything in the end. Your match was anything but an Oso match. It was
awesome.
A fantastic battle of two teams really in fucking form right now.
Yeah, 100%. It was a fucking cracking game. End-to-end stuff. There was chippiness. There was a couple goals. There was controversy. The post was hit. Both goalkeepers made amazing saves, although Aaron Ramsdale's were a bit better. I do have to say so myself. It was fucking brilliant. The game was stopped for more than 2 minutes on two separate occasions for kind of bust-ups. And like when people aren't going to do something, they get really loud and chippy usually. That means they're probably not going to do anything. But did you see the way Granit Xhaka was smiling and just kind of nodding and pointing at somebody? I was like, this dude's going to rip somebody's throat out. I was terrified. It was awesome.
So I needed two things in my little side fun bet that I could do, and one of them very much disappoints me. I needed both teams to score. I had picked Arsenal to win. Needed both teams to score. Obviously, both teams didn't score. I needed over 9 corners. I had over 9 corners. And I needed Granit Xhaka to get a yellow. For fuck's sake, man.
And he should have, to be
When
honest.
do you not get a yellow? How do you not get a yellow in this match? I was like, that's the safest part of the bet is Granit Xhaka getting a yellow in this match, because that's going to happen.
The best part about this, though, for me, what brings the funny, is Gabriel Jesus telling Kieran Trippier he was short to his face. Just straight up insulting his ass. They were jawing back and forth.
Yeah.
And you could see Trippier, the camera stayed on them, and Trippier was like, fuck off, man. Fuck off.
Right.
And Gabriel Jesus goes, me fuck off. And he goes, you. And he did the hand sign like, you're really
Brilliant.
short. Who are you?
Brilliant.
And then proceeded to go back into him from the throw-in and like hold him off. And it was fantastic. The game had everything. It was awesome. Odegaard should have had a second goal. Would have made it a bit more comfortable. But Gabriel Martinelli being as direct and as as energetic as you like, as he has been all season, and forcing Fabian Schär, who was a bit of a cunt earlier in the game, into an own goal. And it was totally deserved, in my opinion.
Fair enough.
Yep.
Well.
Basically for his elbow on Gabriel's face. And then he went in, I think it was him, might have been Botman, but I think it was Fabian Schär who went in on Granit Xhaka later in a game that I was surprised wasn't a card either. Went in kind of, both feet were off the ground, but one of his studs was definitely showing. And just ended up kind of kneeing him almost Charlie horse style, like in that side back of his thigh as he was trying to turn with the ball. And got nothing except a regular foul.
Yeah, it was a fantastic game. It's a great answer from Arsenal. The chase is on now. You've got winnable games the rest of the way, and it's like all you need is for City to make one mistake, and now the tide turns. The pressure is now put on City, and that's where that's going to come. And we're going to go into that in just a second. Chelsea finally get a win under Frank. I would say that game was even at 1-1, and the Cherries got screwed because there was definitely a fucking penalty on Dominic Solanke, and then Chelsea get 2 at the end, and they don't deserve to be winners.
No,
I think the game's completely different if the penalty gets if the penalty gets called and the penalty gets scored.
Yeah, 100%. Bit of controversy in the Arsenal game as well as this one, obviously, with that one not being called. Kiviar's, obviously, the Newcastle fans thought should have been called, But even Lee Dixon said it on the commentary, where after you've seen the replay 76 times, it definitely looks like it comes off his thigh.
Yeah, yeah.
Because it took a very long time to make that decision.
Oh, yeah, it did.
But yeah, Solanke definitely got fouled, in my opinion. I think it should have been a penalty. And
it was two hands on the back push to the ground.
If Bournemouth go 2-1 up,
Chelsea doesn't respond to it.
Chelsea implodes. There was talk midweek in Arsenal versus Chelsea that the Chelsea supporters, or fans rather, players were fighting amongst themselves on the bench.
It doesn't surprise me. It doesn't surprise me.
So for them to turn around and respond like this, and it almost seemed like it was more moments of individual brilliance rather than the team still coming together to do something, because I still think that's a team very much divided.
You know who they need? They're not going to get, because he is not going to go back there, but they need a Carlo Ancelotti type coach. That's the next coach they need.
Someone that can manage. Is what they need. Sign me up for that. Do you know the fucking... I mean, Big Sam for 4 games has given us a lot.
Mm-hmm.
But if Mourinho comes back, it's a half a season of fucking...
for a third time?
That's a half a season of content right there.
I mean,
because you heard what Mourinho was up to at the weekend.
No, I did not.
There's a particular referee in Italy that he does not care for. He hates him. He says he's the worst referee he's ever... He said he's dealt with a lot of very bad referees, but this particular guy is just horrible, was the quote. Just horrible. And I guess in some random match report, Mourinho thought that the referee said something that was untrue about Mourinho speaking to him or the fourth official or somebody. Mm-hmm. Mourinho decided to wear a wire to record all of his interactions with the fourth official,
of course he
and the referee. But he told everybody about it. So it's not a wire. It's very funny.
Fucking, the man's he's
I
an
need
evil
that
genius.
Back in my life.
He's an evil fucking genius.
Week in, week out, I need that back in my life.
Just want the drama.
I know, because it's brilliant. The jokes write themselves. I don't have to do any work.
So
Great.
Here we go. Leeds United, the Big Sam era has begun. And it starts, if you got it ready for us, Mel, right off the jump. Old Big Sam comes out spitting fucking fire.
Far too many people think that I am old and antiquated, which is so far from the truth. I might be 68 and look old, but there's nobody ahead of me in football terms. Not Pep, not Klopp, not Arteta. So it's all there with me.
And that comes courtesy to you from the CGTN sports team. Is that what it said? Want to make sure we give them their credit since we used their clip.
Okay, very good. Yes,
so we don't get sued.
Right, Sattery.
It's not Sattery, said
it. Copyright.
It's just wrong, but it's funny. It's not Sattery. He was dead serious.
But you know what? The match came out and City comfortably won. They were playing great. They were up 2-0. They could have been up 10-0, but it almost felt like Pep was trying to overthink the match.
Like 100%.
Pep was like, I need to show this fucker who I am.
Yeah.
And it didn't work.
It didn't work at all. And then the funniest thing that I saw following this one was these were the two funniest things that happened this weekend. I'll come back to the Chelsea one in a second because it's just a really quick anecdote that's very funny. This one, Pep was asked why he was so incensed at the end of the game and them having won and being a step closer to the title. He said, well, because Haaland didn't make a business decision. Everyone's like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Yep.
Well, was it Gundogan who was on a hat trick?
Yep.
And Haaland is their penalty taker.
Yep.
And instead of taking the penalty, the business decision, going, fuck you, I'm the penalty taker, I'm doing it, he gave up the responsibility to Gundogan so he could get his hat trick, and then he missed it.
Which is what happens every single time there's a penalty and someone's on a brace. You go to hand them the ball to go for the hat trick.
Let them say no.
They fuck it off every single, but they fuck it off every single time it happens.
He's a young guy.
Yeah.
Gundogan is an experienced senior pro.
He's the captain of the side. He's the number one. So when he's not on the pitch, he's not the captain. But if he gets subbed in, over wearing the captain's armband, it goes on his fucking arm. So he's the number one guy. And I get what Haaland was doing, but then you turn around, Boom, other end, Rodrigo, goal, 2-1. Suddenly now you got to think about this shit.
Oh, yeah.
You've been controlling the game.
And again,
You've
they've
been
already
by
subbed
far
out.
the better team.
They've already subbed out some players. They've already kind of, taken their foot off the gas a bit. That's what we're hoping for. The problem is their second team is also very good.
Yeah.
So they were able to deal with that bit of Leeds pressure there at the end. The other funny thing, and I forgot to say it when we did
Chelsea.
it, Chelsea's win, their fans serenaded them leaving the pitch with "We're staying up." The chant. Having a laugh in the Premier League, I think, is what they were singing because they're safe.
Because they're officially
mathematically safe.
Oh, my
which
God.
Is fantastic.
I mean, Chelsea the rest of the way.
Yeah.
Chelsea the rest of the way, just to jump back to them, they've got to do everything they can to fucking finish in the top 10.
I know.
Because otherwise, that's such a, for the money they've spent, that's another 10 million, another 10 million. The even lower they fall, that's more revenue that they lose. And they've spent so much, which means
Todd Bowler could have back in an all-star game
so much. Like, they're going to have to sell a ton. Yes, I get the all-star game. Now, moving on to Tottenham Palace. Tottenham desperately needed to finally get a win. It wasn't pretty, but they finally fucking got one.
Yeah, they did. Harry Kane with the header, obviously. It was, a pretty boring game, to be honest with you. Spurs had pretty much all the chances, and there wasn't much in the game other than that. Son had a few chances but missed, and then Palace had a chance here or there, but nothing really of note. Fraser Forster, I think, had to make 2 kind of routine saves. Yeah. So it was just kind of boring, what you would expect to happen. Obviously, I had high hopes going into the game for Palace because of how Spurs have been.
Right.
But they seem to have figured it out and kind of calmed down a little bit here.
Our good friend Brad down in Narnia has already called it, the soothsayer that he is. He said we're going to finish comfortably 12th. Where are they currently sitting? 12th.
Yep.
Is there anybody close to catching them? No. Are they close to catching anyone? No.
Well,
they're comfortably 12th.
They were close to Chelsea until Chelsea just got this win.
Yeah, they are now comfortably 12th. Yeah. That's just what they're gonna be, man. And it just, I'm sure for them the expectation was so much greater this season, and they're happy to just be up. But at the same time, they're gonna be like, what the fuck are we gonna do now?
Mm-hmm.
Like, how are we gonna move on from there? Deja vu again for United in the same week. Oh my God, a penalty.
Right, no shit. Sloppy first half from both midfields and a very terrible mistake from David De Gea in this one against West Ham. It was just, I don't know what happened. It looked like he may have slipped a little bit,
right?
But he still got a hand to it.
Yeah.
And it wasn't an exceptional shot from Benrahma. He should have been able to save it.
I should have saved it.
I don't understand. I did notice that a lot of the London games especially had very big, rousing God Save the King beginnings as it was coronation weekend.
Right.
I'm going to go back quickly to Liverpool-Brentford.
Let me guess, the Scousers had a different reaction.
They booed the entire time the music was on. And it just goes back to Scouse, not English. And that whole kind of mantra of the area as they've been neglected by the, at least perceived. I don't know enough about the situation to pick a side. But, yeah.
And it's not a rose. It's not a rose-colored versus blue-colored sunglasses. If it was at Goodison,
it probably would have booed the same thing. Yeah.
That's the one thing they can agree on. Fuck the monarch.
Yeah.
Fuck all of England. We're Scouse. It's very much like Barcelona. They're Catalonians. They aren't Spaniards. It's exact same philosophy.
So I just wanted, as we closed out the kind of games in the London area, I just wanted to make sure we mentioned that it was very noticeably different feelings. Even if you looked at Newcastle, they were bumping God Save the King and everybody was singing.
Yep.
Liverpool.
No. Now, not mathematically safe, but the Irons did a lot with that victory to put themselves in the driver's seat. And we're going to get on to that in a second. The last question, of course, we're going to figure out who's going down this week because that's the new game.
It's changing
It's the new game show here on the DU Football Show.
Yeah.
Who's going down this week?
Yeah, no shit.
Okay, and then fucking today happened. Jesus.
What was this fucking orgy of goals?
4-0. Fulham was up like in the 55th minute. It was like, oh, fuck you.
Well, 3 of like the worst scoring teams in the league, right, are playing somebody that scores a decent amount of goals in Leicester and somebody that actually had a pretty good goal return in Brighton this season, right?
Yeah.
And then the other 3 or 4 aren't very good at scoring goals specifically.
Yeah.
Fulham 5, Leicester 3, so there's 8.
8.
Everton 5, Brighton 1, so that's 6. It's 14.
14.
And then Nottingham Forest 4, Southampton 3, and Nottingham Forest had a 5th disallowed by VAR.
Yeah.
So the 7 there says 21 goals
in 3 games.
In
an average
200
of 7 goals a match.
Yeah, in 270 minutes of football. So that's an average of a goal just about every 12 minutes.
Fucking ridiculous. And here's the thing. So Fulham, the one thing they got to be worried about, and we've talked about this, they're missing a little bit of their spine with Ream and Pereira being hurt. But Thomas Kearney comes... How you doing? Here's a brace.
Yeah. Where the fuck did he come from with goals?
Our boy.
That's the other thing. I'm gonna pull the fucking game back. Everybody had weird people scoring.
Definitely,
everyone did.
Definitely, mine was 2 guys with braces, and the own goal was from one of the guys who had the brace. But so for our boy Rob with the fits, put up a great video, him doing a little serenade to Tommy Boy for scoring his brace today.
That's pretty good.
I'll tell you what, and also Willian getting a brace and Vaniscus getting a goal. This is the last game they are without Mitro. Mitro comes back, so. Maybe they are able to make that push. Maybe they can finish in front of Brentford. I think those teams are very tight. I think collectively, both of them want to be in the top 10. And I would say Fulham, no offense to Brentford, Fulham has more of an eye on staying in front of Chelsea than they do leapfrogging Brentford. I mean, it's a rival. Both of those teams are big rivals to Fulham, but I think them finishing above Chelsea in the table would be everything to them as supporters. It was just... Moving to Leicester in that regards, though, we talked about this already with Leicester. They have the ability to score a fuck ton of goals, right? The problem is they have the ability to give up a fuck ton of goals, and that is exactly what happened in this one. You're like, great, all right, you know what? Hey, Leicester put 3 on the board. Doesn't fucking matter when you give up 5.
Right, exactly. And that's been the mark of that team this season is defensively, they are absolute dog shit. Voutface is not good. He is not a good defender. So Yunchu got dropped for a reason.
Yeah.
Now, it's been difficult without Johnny Evans being available for most of the season, being, carrying either a minor injury or being out altogether. But you got to figure out a way to do something different here. I mean, in January, they could have went and bought a championship struggling center back and done better than this. They could have gotten a loan deal from somebody in the Premier League and gotten better than what they've got. This is absurd.
Here's the problem. Goal differential may not save them. Like, they've got a much better goal differential than Everton, Forest, Southampton,
but
and
not
Leeds.
if they keep shipping goals like this. They're up to a minus 15. Y'all are down to a minus 21.
Yep.
Forest are pretty much they need to score the points because they're at a minus 31 also.
By the way, Graham, I've got everybody's games listed out at the bottom here. We'll get to that in a second. Let's kind of wrap up the rest of the games first before we get to there. Jesus fucking Christ. Sorry, Russ. Everton. My God.
So, you want a fun fact?
Sure.
Everton, live league table. Everton have scored 32 goals this season.
Mm-hmm.
5 of those were today.
Yes.
That is a return of 15.6% of your total season goals happened today.
Uh-huh.
Or just under 1/6.
So 100% of the time, 15% of them happen today.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Well done, Mel.
Thank you.
Here's the thing.
That's terrible. That's a damning stat.
Brighton, 79% possession.
Oh my God.
25 shots, 10 on target. Lose 5-1 on Everton's 6 shots on target. Everton were fucking ruthless.
Oh, dice going dice.
And it was all counterattacking, and there was a couple more that could have gone in. It could have easily have been 4-0 at halftime instead of 3-0 at halftime.
And then McNeil Shithausen ran right over to the Brighton fans, gave him a salute.
Yep.
And then you saw an old guy giving the finger and doing the fuck off. So double fuck you, and then gave him the 2 wanker.
And yelled out wanker. I like what Taylor put up. He said clearly he's saying I'm a seagull, go fuck yourself. Clearly that's what he's saying. Yeah.
Do yourself. Yeah.
Here's the thing, like, if Everton don't score that goal in the first minute, come out and just punch him in the face right away,
The game's very different.
Brighton probably wins this match.
The game's very different. Yeah,
it was.
They absolutely look past you next week.
And like Matoma was owning Patterson down the side at the start of the game.
As we talked about, Patterson's not very good.
Right. Well, Patterson grew into the game and had a good end of the match. Oh, by the way, here's something. Imagine what happens when you put your best athletic players on the pitch and you allow them to play. AKA Yuri fucking Mina. It was completely different. Like, they had a lot of possession, but everything was coming in the middle and just being cleared out. Tark and Mina, everything gone. Yeah. Blocking shots, just doing everything right, doing all the gritty work. Amazing what happens when you put your best defensive player on the field and allow him to fucking play.
You know what the problem is? Frank, obviously too stupid to speak Spanish to Mina.
Mm-hmm.
Who was next?
Dice.
It was just Dice. Y'all only had two?
Yeah.
I would love to hear Dice's attempt at speaking Spanish to Yuri Mina.
He looky like he need a English to Spanish translation book.
Hey, hola, motherfucker. Why do you have a scarf on?
And
we're hard here. We don't wear clothes in the winter.
Here's the other brilliant thing. I know you didn't get to watch a ton of this match, but Yuri Mina, the shithousing of all shithousing, gets a yellow card for delaying the game in the 27th minute. And then never got another yellow. Just that I'm going to fuck with them. Just like, I'm going to tell them they're stupid like their father, and I'm just going to watch them self-destruct. Yeah. I'm going to watch them just fall apart.
It was just brilliant. It was very funny.
Zerbi makes 4 changes at halftime. 4. Zerbi was
none of you cunts are doing your jobs. Yeah. That was fantastic.
Decore with 2, his second goal, a great cross from McNeil that he one time just rockets it into the top near side.
Did he celebrate by choking Estupiñán?
No, he didn't bruise anybody's eyebrow. Everybody will be all right, you know. Hey, with that too soon. The nation still mourns the that moment of violence put upon
Tyler Adams.
On Harry Kane.
Oh yeah. That's right.
The eye's still a little tender. You got to give him a break there. But a monster win moves Everton up to 16th place until Forest come out and lay down the Thunder, go up 2-0 quickly on Southampton, only to find Southampton to make it 2-1. Then Forest make it 3-1. Then they make it 4-1. Then it's 4-2. Then it's 4-3.
Then it's 5-3. Then VAR.
Yep. And then it's 5-3. And then VAR.
And then it finishes. Yeah. It was wild. What a fucking wild game.
The Saints now are to their last breath. They have to win out. They cannot get anything but 3 points. If they get anything but 3 points next week, they are officially relegated.
Yeah, sorry, Kenny.
It's unfortunate for Southampton, but we've looked at this multiple times over and over and over again throughout the season, and we've said on Injury Time about different teams. This is the one you have to win. Leicester would do it. Everton would do it. Forest would do it. Southampton would never fucking do it.
Yeah.
When here's the game. You have Palace at home. This is one you have to win. Fuck it off and lose. Like, it's just what they've been doing. It's like, great, you got that draw, that really dramatic draw against Tottenham, but
£600 million goes a long way to having a third manager in the dugout for the season.
Yeah.
When you're on the shoestring budget Southampton does, it is the normal damning statistic that it is, and you will probably be relegated.
Yeah. Now the one
that's how the footballs do you.
But that's also one of those clubs that I feel very confident will get down there, fix it quickly, and be right the fuck back up.
I'm not so sure anymore.
Yeah, I feel like
there's a lot of really strong clubs in the championship now, and if they lose their talisman and James Ward-Prowse, I think they're in trouble.
Okay,
I don't think they'll go down to League One, but I think they're in trouble.
Okay, fair enough. So, like I said, we're going to play that game. Who's going down this week? Let's go ahead and give you from 15th to 20th because
I got to physically see it because it's so fucking confusing.
Technically, West Ham is not out of it yet. There still could be sent down. But We're going to start with them and their schedules. Oh, you got the Nerds odds up as well?
I've got the Nerds odds up if you want.
Very good. So for West Ham, they have
Look at us doing some admin.
at Brentford, Leeds at home, and at Leicester. I think they find a point somewhere in there, if not multiple points, because they're playing the teams around them. I feel like they're going
this
to be
is
all
West
right.
Ham, yeah?
Yeah.
I think they beat Leeds and probably beat Southampton. I think there's 6 points left in there.
Leicester,
I'm sorry.
Leicester.
I think they beat both of them.
Yeah.
And actually find the points to finish above Chelsea.
Yeah.
So I'm joking about that part. But yeah, I think they could actually be the ones that are comfortably 12th.
Cool. What are the odds on West Ham?
Less than 1% chance.
Yeah, they're all but safe, but they could still
Paqueta
fuck it
coming
off.
back has been fucking massive for them.
Oh God, yeah.
And I can't tell you actually, because if somebody else does it, I'll lose him.
Okay, heard. Very good.
I
Now,
just told you, if you can figure it out.
Nottingham Forest has at Chelsea, Arsenal, and at Palace. At
What a
Palace is
fucked run in.
at Palace is a winnable game because Palace won't care by that
yeah.
point. But Chelsea and Arsenal, you can find yourself where you have to win on the final day. You may already be fucked at that point. You know,
They may fire Frank just to prove a point since they're mathematically safe now. Chelsea.
just to be assholes.
Just to be dicks.
Be like, thanks, you got us the 3. Fuck you, you're
Get-
fired.
Get fucked. Yeah.
We're going to be yet another team to fire you. Have fun. So for me, I fear for Forest.
I do fear for Forest as well. But which one's at home?
Arsenal is at home.
Yeah, they're fucked.
Yeah, they are. The other two are on
We're
the road.
not losing to them at home at this stage. I
What
don't care how
are-
loud they are.
What is Nottingham's Forest chance of staying up, Mel?
37% chance of going down.
Going down, I'm sorry. Very good. Next up, we have Everton, who is in 17th place. City at home, likely a loss, maybe in some world for
you're
you,
winning
Sam. Goodison, they can.
You're winning it.
We only need a draw, wouldn't we, to get you where you needed to be?
No, I'm having you win it.
But if we get a draw, that's enough to get you the title,
But if
isn't
you win it, it's better for me.
it? Okay. Well, let's live in a world of reality here.
In reality, is they are between the 2 Real Madrid games.
Exactly.
And here's my key. My key is I need, sad to say, the old fascist Real Madrid to get a fucking point or win 1-0. And all City will be thinking about is that second leg.
Heard.
They won't give a fuck about y'all.
And then Everton have at Wolves, which now just go get a point in all
But
likelihood.
now I'm worried that you just blew your load.
Right.
And you won't have enough in the tank
True.
to do this.
And then Bournemouth at home to finish out the season. Of everyone looking at these, they have the easiest run in, and that's with them playing City. They have the easiest run in of the
Yeah,
group.
I would tend to agree because Bournemouth are essentially safe as well.
Right.
On 39. Because Leicester's not going to win out, which we'll obviously come on to next.
Right.
But so I think you all are pretty much safe, and I'd probably put them in the 40s.
So where do we have percentage of going down?
Of staying up, I mean.
Mel, what's the percentage
28%.
of going
Oh, wow.
down? Wow, good numbers.
Last week it was like 50. Week before
Yeah.
that it was 62.
Yeah.
You're at 28%, sir.
Very
Oh,
good.
so they did you a solid there, giving you less than a third chance to go down. Because
Yeah.
I would have said about 40 to go down, 60 to stay up.
Because even looking back over these lineups, like West Ham they play some lesser sides with Leeds and Leicester, but those two teams will be fighting to stay up. So do you want to play somebody that's fighting to stay up, or do you want to play someone who's already on Dubai time? That's with particularly Wolves and Bournemouth. If you score first, they will fuck it off. They won't care. Now, if they score first, they'll decide to have a game that day. They'll fucking play you. But, now moving on to Leicester, who is currently in 18th place. They have Liverpool at Newcastle and home to West Ham. That
They're
is a
fucked.
tough run-in.
I think Leicester, I don't see them winning the rest of the season.
They
Especially
needed
about today. Yeah.
They needed today. They did everything right. They got the win. They got the draw against Leeds. They got the draw against Everton. It seemed like they were going to be safe. They really fucked up by losing this one today. This one really killed them.
If I get within 5 points higher or lower, 5 points either side of their percentage, okay? $100 towards my betting total so I can say I won something this year.
Okay, we'll give you that one.
75% to go down.
64.
Fuck you!
Wow.
11. God damn it.
Now on to Leeds. Leeds have Newcastle at home, at West Ham, Tottenham at home. I feel like Big Sam can find some points in here, especially the
West
ones at
Ham, I
home.
think.
Did you not hear? He's greater than Klopp and everybody.
I really.
Arteta.
Now here's the thing. Leeds have been miserable this season.
Put myself right up there with them.
Meslier got benched. They went with Joel Robles in the net, but they're still bad on defense. And it wasn't like City didn't have chances to make it a lot worse. They should have made it a lot worse.
Yeah.
I think Pep got in his own way in that match more so than suddenly
100% he did.
suddenly Leeds were playing stout defense. They really weren't. There were more than enough chances, but you can't help but look at that and go, Newcastle at home, they could fuck up Newcastle's world. Newcastle isn't good on the road.
I also think Manchester United have a bigger chance of falling out of the Champions League spaces than Newcastle do. So I think that's true. I think they could eke out a 0-0 against Newcastle.
At West Ham may already be safe by that point, worrying about a Europa final, a McRib Cup final potentially.
Right.
There's that. Then Tottenham may already be comfortably safe in Europe at that point, not knowing where they're going to be, but at least comfortably safe, not really playing for the manager, not really giving a shit. I hate to admit it. I thought it was a bad move at first. I laughed with my teeth out when fucking Big Sam got hired. He might be able to pull it the fuck off.
Yeah.
He really might be able to. Because I'm looking at other teams' run-ins. I don't feel comfortable with Forest, and I don't feel comfortable with Leicester's run-ins the rest of the way.
No, and I honestly don't care either way because he gave us what he needed to give us, and it was that press conference we played earlier for you. Because it is the Crowder meme, right? Yeah. It is the change my mind. Now I can use. I did it in sound check.
Yeah.
Right when somebody before the show started, but we were on stream, and who was it that was singing? And what? Celine Dion, Rihanna, Shakira. You could put me up there with a lot of them.
I'm a fucking diva.
I'm just as fucking good as they are.
I'm a fucking diva.
In terms of knowledge, depth of knowledge, experience.
Mm-hmm. I can carry a tune.
It's the best. Yeah. That's what I told you. Well, one of the other shows we listened to made the joke about the coronation.
Yep.
King Arthur, Henry VIII.
So finally,
it's brilliant.
Finally, we have Southampton, and Southampton, to do the Great Escape, have to win all three of these.
Hey, they're going, man.
Fulham, at Brighton, and Liverpool. If they get past Fulham, maybe they can do it to Brighton. Maybe.
91%.
They're not doing it to fuck. Oh, we didn't mention, by the way, Leeds' chance of going down.
71%.
That doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, not at all.
The smell test feels like they're the one that might sneak it out. Mm-hmm. And then Southampton, what are their chances of going? They got to be like 90.
I say 90, 91.
Greater, because there's a little greater sign in it. Mathematically greater than 99%.
Wow.
So 99.6, 0.7, 0.1.
Yeah. Wow.
They're bigger than 99%.
So
Less
Graham,
than 100, so there's a chance.
So Graham, who are your three? Who do you think this week are going down?
Southampton's nailed on.
This can change.
In my opinion, Southampton's nailed on. You know, the nerds finally got it right. Only took them all season. But they finally got something right. I think they're done. I think Leeds have a very difficult run-in, and they're going to find it especially tough. And Leicester have the worst run-in of the bunch. I just can't see where Leicester's going to win another game.
Okay, so you think Forest might figure out a way to stay up, huh?
Yeah, with you guys and Forest winning today, right, that's the biggest thing, because Leeds, entering the weekend, didn't actually have to do anything the rest of the season.
Right.
Because it was feasible that neither would you, neither would Forest, and the bottom three would stay how they were.
And we got wins.
And both of you got wins, and unexpected wins.
Yeah.
Cherry on top 3-pointers.
Yeah.
Right?
That changes it for them.
That changes it big time, because now Leeds have to go get something, and they need to rely on you guys fucking it off. Now, we brought in the goal differential discussion. Mm-hmm. You all have a minus 21 because of that large win. Leeds, coming out of the Man City game, only dropped one in goal differential, minus 25. So feasibly, if they win, the worst case scenario for you is if they win 3-0 at Real Madrid.
Right.
They will fucking slaughter you.
Oh, God, yeah, because they'll be up for it.
They'll be up for it. They'll be flying high. We can focus on the league again because we got 2 feet and a hand on the doorknob in the Champions League final.
Right.
That would be worst case scenario for you guys. And you could get battered 5-6-0. And if
Yeah.
you do, now all of a sudden goal differential comes back into it.
Yeah.
Leeds gets 1 win. They've got you by 2 goals, and they're a point ahead of you.
Yeah, very true.
But I just don't see where Leeds are going to do it.
So
they're so inconsistent going forward. They can't score the requisite goals they need to win games. We've seen it all season.
So your 3 are Southampton, Leicester, and Leeds?
It's who it is right now.
Yep,
It's those 3 who it is right now. Yeah, I can't see Forest have a difficult run-in, but they've got a couple of home games. Like I said, the game against me is at home, which is tough for them, but I don't see us going out and winning 5-0.
Right.
I see us getting another scrappy 2-1, 3-1. Fine. But I just don't see where's Leicester going to pick the points up? Where's Leeds seriously going to pick the points up? What about their recent performances? Either one of those teams leads you to believe they're going to actually get a point.
I think they will. I think they're going to find a point or two. But go ahead. Cole, who do you think are the 3 going down this week?
So I definitely think Forest is on the list. I mean, look at who they've got coming up. I mean, actually, the Arsenal game, in my mind, is the one that might be safest because they might just fuck off and be like, we just need a tie.
Yeah.
And Forest could have a chance there, but the other 2, no way. There's no way.
But Forest aren't very good away from home.
Yeah.
Going to Chelsea with the season they've had.
All right, so you think Southampton and Forest, and who do you think's the 3rd?
Yeah, Southampton, Forest, and I hate to say it, but Leicester.
Okay, very good. Mel, who do you think's going down? What 3 do you think are going down?
Everton.
Okay, thanks. Fuck you.
Everton, Southampton, and Leicester.
Really? You honestly do think Everton's going down? Or you're just fucking with me to be a word I like to call you?
Don't ask questions you don't want the answers to.
Very good. Good enough. For me, I think it is Southampton. I'm right on the same spot with Cole. I think it's Southampton. I think it's Forest. And I think it's Leicester at the end of the season. I think somehow Leeds find a point in there. I think they find a point or 2.
But a point's not good enough.
I think they find more. I think they find a way. I think they're
going to eke it out.
The problem is that puts you in more doubt because Leeds are 3 points behind Forest.
I feel
they're only 2 points behind y'all.
I feel comfortable that we're gonna get a win in one of these next 3 and be safe.
So do I.
Yeah, but I think there's going to be a win.
But that means Leeds needs 4 points from their last 3 games.
Yeah, fair enough.
And much like Southampton, there's nothing on the cards to suggest that they could get that many points in 3 games because they haven't all season.
Yeah, but Sam, it's the greatest. Socrates, Plato, all morons. Big Sam's at the helm.
Sure money.
If you were going with the helm, you should have went with captains.
Heard.
Captain James.
I wanted to do a little bit of the Princess Bride, Socrates.
Thank
Plato,
you for that reference.
idiots,
Thank you.
all morons.
Inconceivable.
Yep, exactly. How about Big Sam going, inconceivable? Fucking best.
All right, so is he with us or no?
So I just got a text from Pat. I am super drunk and really tired. I don't want to bring the show to a crashing stop. I'm not funny drunk. I'm, well, quote, shouldn't have started at 12 o'clock and should go to bed drunk.
Nice. So I will jump on the old emails.
Okay.
Make sure I've got that.
Which, that right there, Pat. It's gold. It's gold,
Pat's
Jerry.
fucking gold. Fucking
And
gold.
he says he's not funny.
So I don't want to bring the show to a screeching halt when that ever stopped you before. We knew that going into this
It's always
segment.
been a good screeching halt,
when we
though.
invited you to this. Yeah.
Always been a good screeching
So
halt.
that's what's going on in his world, I guess.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, so I am now down $3,400, and it was not even right. I'm just putting a blank one in there.
Okay, just
What's
blank one
the
in there
point?
because what's the point? Heard. Very good.
What's the point
What's
anymore?
the point?
So I'm gonna just get it out of the way now. Everton to win.
That's it. Everton to
I
win.
told you. I'm either winning both the betting and the league, or I'm losing both of them.
Got it. So what's the odds for
Plus
Everton to win?
850.
There you
which
go.
doesn't even make enough of a dent to help me for the last 2 weeks.
Well, All I needed was United to hit, and they fucked it right off. And so for my couple losers, the punchline of the joke of what 3 teams have a curse word in their name, and fucking Man United is what we got.
That's right.
All right, good. Put that in there. But you know what? We're going to be all right.
Big Sam's Lock of the Week.
Not sure if you're aware of this, Sam, but 18.181818181818% of the time, it works 100%
You
of
score
the
all of
time.
your goals in one game.
Exactly the same
Or
odds.
Mel hits the right button this show.
Yeah, that's more likely. This number's better than that. I'm going to go back to the bit. I'm going to take Liverpool to beat Leicester, and there be over 3.5 total goals at plus 238.
Okay.
Oh, there we go.
Not bad. Are you still in second place? You're minus how much?
I'm minus 1352, so I think I'm
you
just
are
behind Pat.
Just as a stretch.
That's right. He hit that one big one.
Yeah.
So, yeah, very true.
All right. That's good. I like that.
And now, it's time for our degenerate gambling friend Pat's Pick of the Week.
I think that one was just to fuck with you.
The subject line of the email is 8 hours, 12 beers. This son of a bitch shot at 90. All right. This son of a bitch shot a 90. So he golfed today. He shot a 90.
And normally he shoots in like the 80s. So.
I'd call that good.
Yeah, he calls that bad.
Yeah.
He was probably yelling at things.
So he said, so I kind of hit this last week, plus 135, which makes me minus 565.
Okay, yeah, he's got it in the bag.
This week, got to take a who gives a hell parlay, so I got Chelsea over Forest, Tottenham drawing with Man City, and Arsenal over Brighton. Excuse me, $100 pays off at $13.45. Not too shabby. Peace.
Problem is Tottenham's not playing Man City this week. Everton's playing Man City.
They're not. You're right.
He has had 8 beers.
Let's see who Tottenham's playing, and we're just going to give him a draw in that game. What do you think?
That sounds fine.
Is that fair?
I think that's fair.
Tottenham play Villa.
There we go.
At Villa Park.
There we go.
No, Tottenham's getting fucked.
Yeah. Ooh, boy.
So we're going to give him that. Tottenham drawing Villa and Arsenal over Brighton.
Very good.
$100 paid. Yeah, fuck it. We'll give him the same odds. Don't care. $13.45 because he's got it in the bag.
There we go.
Who gives a shit?
Lovely, lovely. Well, that's all good, but you
Said
know,
not too shabby. Like he did something good. You picked the wrong team.
he had 8 beers and shot at 90. Come on, that's better than what we did today, right?
Yeah, I made money and supported my family. Not disappointed them.
You know who had a better day than all of us? The chicken.
Yeah, it definitely did.
Well, Kitty hit on her bet and 6 at 17 and 17.
There you go.
So this week, I gave Kitty Aston Villa welcoming Tottenham.
Ah, there we go.
In a big clash for European football next season. Now, Kitty began to go on and on about her time this past weekend at the coronation of the king. Yeah, she wore a hat with ostrich feathers.
Of course she did.
And how he and William watched the Villa match from his cell phone. Now, obviously, Kitty and the Prince are super close, and she sees Villa getting a big game home win this weekend.
Very good, very good. And right on, you read it correctly. Just Kitty's ghostwriter wrote here instead of her. What else do we got to do, Producer Mel?
Well, if you're doing everything correctly, then you're also supposed to be gambling legally and responsibly.
Championship Corner!
I've fallen and I can't get up. Oh no!
So, what a fucking finish to the championship.
Well, do remember the midweek game, you did have security for good old...
Neil Warnock, Huddersfield 1-0 over Sheffield United. He did it again. 5 wins in 8, I think it was.
Yep.
And they're safe.
They are safe. Going
They're
into the final game of the
safe.
season didn't mean a thing.
Yep.
Even though it was a head-to-head match with Reading.
They are mathematically safe.
Yep.
Fucking Neil Warnock did it again. And here's the difference. Neil Warnock is like a lovable grandfather kind of figure.
Right.
Big Sam's not.
Yeah.
That's why we love Warnock more, even though they both do the same job and kind of exemplify the same footballing morals.
Right, just mediocrity. Like, great, you survived. That's what you're famous for.
Yeah, exactly. So today, the entire league kicked off at the same time, as is tradition when you're finishing a season. Sheffield United 2-1 over Birmingham. Burnley 3-0 over Cardiff. Huddersfield Town 2-0 over Reading. Did it again. Just to put the nail in the coffin on Reading's book. Luton Town 0-0 with Hull. Borough and Coventry 1-1. That's Middlesbrough. Blackburn 4-3 over Millwall. We'll get to it.
Yeah.
Blackpool 1-0 over Notch. Sunderland 3-0 over Preston. Bristol City 2-0 over QPR. Swansea 3-2 over West Brom. Watford 2-0 over Stoke. And Wigan 0-0 with Rotherham. So we are going.
Hold on one second here. Mel, you say you had something there for us?
Yes, Pat is watching on YouTube, and he said, shot. Everton draw with Man City. I mean, shit.
Very good. Okay, so it's Everton Man City drawing. That's what he's going with.
That's
so
what he meant.
Yep,
Okay, so we'll change that. Yeah.
Very good.
Now
very
that
good.
he actually might need to redo his odds for then, because Everton's draw I think was 435 plus 435.
Okay.
Yeah. All right, so Burnley, crown champions, of course, as we've discussed, finished on 101 points with a plus 52 goal differential. Congratulations to them. Welcome back to the Premier League, of course. Sheffield United occupy the other automatic promotion spot, finishing on 91 points with a plus 34 goal differential. Nothing to be sniffed at. They are back in the Premier League. 1, 2, 3. Dublin's! They are
I
back.
can't wait for your best friend to be in studio.
Oh, this is going to be brilliant. I think we might actually still be following COVID protocols here. Just going to have to zoom in. Luton Town finishing third on 80 points. Starting the playoff picture, Middlesbrough are in fourth on 75 points. Coventry are in fifth on 70 points. And Sunderland beat them all out to the final playoff place on, draw hard around it, ladies and gentlemen, 69 motherfucking points.
Their 3-0 win leapfrogged what happened to Millwall and Blackburn.
So Millwall raced, I believe, because I'm going to actually pull up the time of the goals here. So Millwall went up 1-0 in the 8th minute. Blackburn equalized on 22. But 2 goals in 2 minutes, the 37th and 39th. Millwall went into the break 3-1 up. And all they had to do was hold on.
See it out. See it out and win, and they're in the playoffs.
But instead, they conceded goals in the 51st, 63rd, and 86th minute.
Lose 4-3.
Lose 4-3, fall out of the playoff picture, and finish the season behind Blackburn Rovers, even though they have a +9 goal differential better than they do.
And Sunderland leapfrog into the playoffs.
Yep. So we've got Luton against Sunderland and Middlesbrough versus Coventry, I believe will be your playoff picture. That happens next weekend.
Yep.
And we should know after a couple of weeks where we're at. Very, very excited.
Rooting for Luton, to be honest, first and foremost. Coventry as well, to a lesser degree. And Sunderland, just because it would be great to see a Tyne-Wear derby again. Borough, I've seen a few times. I'm really not interested in seeing Borough back up again.
Yeah, another one of Neil Warnock's former haunts.
Yeah. Chris Hughton's haunts, too, because remember, Chris
he was there, yeah.
managed everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but now Luton and Coventry, I think, are the two for me. Just to get a Tyne-Wear back and to watch Alan shit himself twice a season, I think is enjoyable.
Yep, very good.
I think it'll be fun.
That's going to wrap it up, boys and girls. First off, Cole, thank you so much for going on this journey with us, and congratulations on choosing your club.
Thank you so much for having me. I can't wait for, more to come.
Excellent. And Mr. Graham, parting words, because we have another fucking D back.
Well, as any good side bitch would say, when they do you wrong, door's always open.
He's so fucking thirsty. Always got to make it about Arsenal, man.
Now,
it's always, the ones that you least suspect who always come sniffing back.
I made that joke about the one that got away, and now he's
back.
all
We talked about this.
we did.
All right.
Sniffing equals murderer.
Graham, who's our D-back?
Our D-back is some weird guy that supports Crystal Palace this week. Son, after I believe hitting the outside of the post and being rather chuffed about it, walking towards the sideline, kind of doing one of these numbers, like
rubbing his face,
like that. guy did the double wanker. This is very popular all of a sudden. Normally, I only see one-handed. This weekend, I saw multiple people doing two-handers.
Fucking skiing down the fucking mountain. That's what they're doing, man.
Just digging for worms over there, I guess. I don't know what's happening? Everybody's in a spit roast. But then decided to release imaginary phalluses and do the old
Pointy
Asian
eye.
eyes. The old
Take his
Asian
fingers
eye
and
thing.
do the pointy eye thing.
Don't do that, you fucking cunt. It's racist. It is meant to make him feel bad about who he is, and that's usually the general consensus for being a cunt, is if you do something like that. So
he has already been found and reported to the authorities, and Palace is acting swiftly.
Good. The last thing I saw were Palace were working to still identify him. So he has been identified.
To
Good.
my understanding, he has been identified.
And all accounts, they are being very cooperative with the police, and everybody kind of reported him rather quickly and everything. And I mean, he was in plain view of the camera. It was only a matter of time. I just hadn't seen the update yet because I was working all day. But yeah, no, he deserves to get banned for hopefully ever, because you just shouldn't do that shit.
If you're going to be a racist cunt, we're going to call you out on it, no matter what, every single time.
Always.
We've called ourselves out on it. Our own teams. We've called out our own
100%.
supporters on it. If you're going to do that, we're going to fucking call you out on it.
Absolutely.
Very good.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much for joining us, boys and girls. Next up is injury time. We're going to check in with our adopted clubs, take a little look at the lower leagues as well. Scotland's doing their useless season now. That just started this weekend, so we got the Ibs game to talk about a little bit. How about that?
Okay. I didn't even know that was happening.
Yeah, it's the most confusing thing in the world is the Scottish Premier League. Just, the season's over. We crowned a champion. Now play 4 more games. I just don't get it. So if somebody wants to find injury time, Mr. Graham, how do they go about doing it?
Very easy. Patreon.com/DU Football Show to sign up for all the extra content. That is Soundcheck, which is kind of DU before light. And then Injury Time, which is DU after dark.
Okay, well,
because they both usually devolve into funny sex jokes.
I'd say before light would mean it's actually dark, so
that's
meant
the
still
point.
light.
Just the other side of
Okay,
get it?
Yeah, but that you're saying
that's
it's
one
dark.
for the clever people. Sorry.
Yeah, no, you're not that clever.
No, they get it.
Yeah, yeah, they get that.
I mean, Taylor probably does it, but the other ones do.
They get that you're an idiot is what they get. Till next week, everybody.
I was right about that, by the way. Good night.